This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Clarindon cop charged with assaulting man. A Clarindon parish judge yesterday ordered mediation in the assault case against the police detective. Detective Constable Omar Davey was placed before the ByPNP Parish Court to answer to charges of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. Davey was charged after an investigation by the Independent Commission of Investigations and a ruling by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in relation to the March 24, 2014 assault of a man at a bar in Muckle, Clarindon. The complainant was reportedly questioned and searched by Davey, and it is alleged that the complainant was subsequently hit, causing his upper incisor tooth to be dislodged. Medical attention was sought for the injuries sustained. Parish Judge Dale Staple heard the allegations yesterday and referred the matter to the Restorative Justice Center for mediation. The parties agreed. The cop is to return to court on January 31, 2022. G2K disgusted by PNP vote against the SOEs. Generation 2000, the young professional affiliate of the Jamaica Labour Party, in a statement released Friday, expressed utter disgust with the People's National Party vote against the state of public emergency in the upper house of Parliament on Thursday. The government was dealt a massive blow to its main crime fighting tool that was imposed in 7 police divisions across 5 parishes on November 14. This means that the SOEs will no longer be in effect as of this weekend. Regardless of the extent to which one is accustomed to criminality, Jamaica's murder statistics relative to peers in Latin America and the Caribbean confirm that we are in a state of emergency. Objective voices such as heads of both the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defense Force would have recommended an SOE to Jamaica's Prime Minister and the Governor General. Additionally, private sector lobby groups such as the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica and the Crime Monitoring and Oversight Committee would have also expressed their support for the state of public emergency, which by all means was justified. This logically leads one to question the PNP's reason for opposing it, said Ryan Strachan, president of G2K. The group went on to state that the opposition's vote against the SOEs and the lack of suggestion of a replacement measure leads us to conclude that they are voting along political lines and displaying wanton disregard for the life and the safety of Jamaican citizens, the release said. General Secretary Javin Baker, a resident of Western Jamaica, stated that, as one who feels the effects of runaway criminality on business and the environment in which I operate, one would have expected the opposition to support a measure that has calmed the environment and allowed for swift investigations whilst preserving citizens' safety and sanity. He added that this measure was declined and greeted in the immediate aftermath by pre-planned social media posts and images, confirmed premeditation, and that the PNP does not take the lives of Jamaicans impacted by the scourge of crime seriously. That is disappointing but not entirely surprising given their track record. G2K highlighted that the vote against the SOEs brings to mind the kind of tribal politics that former PNP President Dr. Peter Phillips lambasted this past week. It is reprehensible, the statement read. PSAJ calls for implementation of Code of Conduct training of public sector boards. The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica says that recurring reports of alleged impropriety on public boards has compelled it to once again record its tremendous concern and disappointment in the governance of public resources, highlighting recent allegations related to the Nutrition Products Limited and the Airports Authority of Jamaica, as well as reports of the misuse of public funds at the Clarindon alumna production. The PSAJ says the incidents of alleged corruption serve only to erode the public's confidence in our leaders and increase mistrust in the governance of our country. In a release on Thursday, the PSAJ shared that with much of the provision of critical goods and services in Jamaica being provided through public bodies including water, housing, health, petrol, etc., it has become increasingly apparent that existing governance structures need review and the board members need proper training in their fiduciary responsibilities especially their fundamental responsibility to act in the best interest of the organization. The organization is calling for an urgent review of all boards by Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the portfolio ministers in a bid to ensure that all boards fulfilled the specified competency requirements. The PSAJ is also calling for all directors of public boards to be adequately trained so that there is full understanding of their duties, responsibilities, and accountability, noting that areas of particular concern are conflict of interest and procurement. The organization is once again urging the government to urgently pass the Public Bodies Management and Accountability Regulations 2020, pointing out that said regulations are a fundamental element in the public sector corporate governance structure. It is also requesting that the Code of Conduct for boards be finalized and implemented, and for increased clarity in the relationship between public sector boards and the ministries, so that all participants and the public are clear as to their responsibilities. Man shot dead in alleged confrontation with police in Spanish Town. An unidentified male who allegedly engaged the security forces in a shootout in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, early Friday morning, was killed and a firearm seized. It is reported that about 2:47 a.m., a joint police-military team was on patrol near the old train station at Oxford Road. The police say the team was allegedly greeted with gunfire from a man who ran. He was pursued by the team, and when accosted at Redemption Ground, he was shot and injured and an illegal gun seized from him, Deputy Superintendent of Police Linroy Edwards said. The weapon seized was a Smith & Wesson pistol with a magazine with 3 live 9mm cartridges. The injured man was taken to the Spanish Town General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The Independent Commission of Investigation and the Police Inspectorate Division have launched a probe into the matter. Bunting provides a context to near-decade-old divine intervention statement. 8.5 years after he made his now infamous divine intervention statement regarding what was to aid the security forces in their fight against the crime, former National Security Minister Peter Bunting on Thursday sought to provide the context in which he made the comment. Bunting received both condemnation and commendation for making the statement at the time, one which he has not been made to forget. While speaking at a function at the Northern Caribbean University on April 13, 2013, Bunting said he was convinced that the best efforts of the security forces by itself will not solve the crime problem in Jamaica, but it is going to take divine intervention touching the hearts of a wide cross-section of the society. I am not embarrassed to say that right now, as a Minister of National Security, I am going through a kind of a dark night of the soul, Bunting added while appearing close to tears. On Thursday, he provided context shedding light on his dark night of the soul moment. He was speaking in the Senate during his contribution to the debate on the motion to extend the states of emergency until February 10, 2022. The motion fell 1 vote short of the required 2/3 majority as no opposition senator supported it. This means the SOEs will come to an end on Saturday after just 2 weeks. As he responded to Government Senator Don Webby, who had referenced his statement during his contribution to the debate, Bunting said, "Every time we go to church, every time we say a prayer here in this chamber, we're indeed asking for divine intervention, so I'm really puzzled as to why divine intervention seems so unusual." The leader of opposition business in the Senate admitted that he was very emotional at the time he made the statement, and he offered an explanation. "I will use the opportunity to give some context, and there were a number of reasons," he stated. Continuing, he said, "I was emotional because my mother had died a few days previously. I was emotional because I was speaking at a church service at NCU for fallen members of the police and the military." Bunting added that I was emotional, and the particular reference to divine intervention was because we had a heinous murder that week where a father had murdered his wife and 2 children. The context was that you couldn't have enough police, and no matter how hard the police had worked in that domestic situation, only divine intervention could have intervened, not anything by the security forces. Bunting explained that separately, he was emotional because I feel very passionate about this topic. I know how important it is. He said, I have been at way too many murder scenes. I've attempted to comfort way too many mothers who have lost their children. I've seen them washing the blood out of their homes. Webby brought up the Bunting statement, which he said he found to be profound and quite serious at the time, as he called for the church to become more involved in the fight against the crime. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.